I can't believe this. This is how we go. Cloud Babies Elevation Nation. Once again, I am here. My name is Tony Remy. Welcome to the show. That's it. I got a special guest with me. I got my cousin RD with me here, all the way from Boston. And we are going to talk about this whole Desiree Perez. The daughter came out and blew the whistle. And it shows you the true power behind Roc Nation. She's playing dirty. To me, she's probably the most powerful woman in the industry. Allegedly, she's a snitch. She used to work for the cartel. Then she got caught. Then she ended up snitching, working for the government, and give away the cartel. And now that's who Jay-Z decided to work with. That's why when people say, yo, Jay is super powerful, this whole Roc Nation situation is super powerful, that's what they're talking about. And to think about it, Tory had no chance. If you're facing somebody like this, no freaking way. So we have RD here straight from Boston. What's popping? Can I hear you?
What's going on, baby?
We here?
You in here? How are you?
Yeah, okay. So yeah, I know you don't know much about Desiree.
No, you brought me on here. I'm ready to listen, baby. I'm ready to hear this.
This is beyond, my mouse is acting up. This is beyond, like, I don't know if I should say shameful or like disturbing, but I just feel sorry for like Tory at the end of the day, man.
Man, that dude's down. He's down. He's down a bit right now. But
he's down big time.
Somehow, some way, they're gonna find him coming up, man. You know, he's down, but he seems like he's gonna be coming up.
Yeah.
Thank God he's coming up. You know, he got stabbed and everything. Thank God he's coming up.
Yeah. So there's Desiree Perez, a little backstory of who she is, how she started, and all the crazy conspiracies behind it. All right?
I say shout out to Desi. Shout out to Desi. She got me out the contract.
Roc Nation.
Yeah, shout out to Desiree.
Okay.
You know about this?
Nah.
Desiree Perez became a cooperating witness for the DEA in the 1990s. She got arrested in 1994 as a cocaine.
Desiree Perez and the whole wicked system of Roc Nation, including you, Jay-Z.
Yes.
You who say you rose from the gutter.
The head of Roc Nation, Desiree Perez.
So that's who she is.
Damn.
Okay. So they saying that she's behind the whole Tory situation. She helped build out a bunch of like people and stuff like that in the rap industry. You know what I mean?
So that was Tory's dad right there too, right? That was Tory's dad.
Yeah, that was Tory's
like a larger
dad.
Tory, like a little chubbier Tory.
Mm-hmm.
And
so
I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't even know Desiree was like a part owner of Roc Nation. I'm shocked.
Yeah, she was. Well, she is. I can say she was. She is.
She is.
So when I first heard of her, that's when Tekashi 6ix9ine was doing this whole thing going against the why, there's a bunch of snitch in the industry and yada yada yada. You know what I mean?
So Desiree Perez, right?
This is how he
Desiree Perez. Desiree Perez, and people don't want to hear this, but look, I'm gonna show you this. Listen, I don't got no animosity to Desiree, but people just want to pick and choose when they want to pick and choose, right? Meek Mill, you're first, right? You're going to be first. All right, so Desiree Perez, right? She's an executive at Roc Nation. She's an executive at Roc Nation. Desiree Perez was arrested, right? Desiree Perez is a Roc Nation executive that works with Meek Mill. Matter of fact, let me show you. She works with Meek Mill. She's right here, look. What is that? Meek Mill's pleads guilty to old gun charges served, right? So people pick and choose who's this? This is Desiree Perez. This is Meek Mill. This is Desiree Perez. This is Meek Mill. This is Desiree Perez. This is Meek Mill. Meek Mill, Desiree Perez. Let's find out who's Desiree Perez. So you see her right here with Jay-Z. You see her with Meek Mill. You know what I'm saying? She's an executive at Roc Nation. There she goes right here, right? Let's see who Desiree Perez is, right? Got you right now. Give me one right here. Look, Desiree Perez. So let's go to the Daily News, right? Let's go to the New York Daily News. Okay, let's go to the Daily News. The story that spooked Dash revealed how Perez, the wife of longtime Jay, operating witness for the DEA in the 1990s. Again, this is public information. This is public information. Desiree Perez became a cooperating witness for the DEA in the 1990s after her 1994 arrest for possession of 35 kilos of cocaine. Perez struck a deal with the feds, agreeing to wear a hidden wire to record her meetings with major cocaine traffickers, the cartel. Her undercover informant work won her courtroom praise for federal prosecutors, as did mine, after she helped them break up major drug dealers in Puerto Rico and Colombia.
So that's who she is.
Bro, I'm actually surprised this dude could read, though.
So I don't live, right? The live is being paused. You see Meek Mill right here with Desiree Perez, right? She's part of his bail with Jay-Z. This part of.
So this whole thing came out, right? That was like, I'll say maybe 3 years ago. 3 years ago. So now behind the Tory situation, everybody, that name keep on coming up again, over and over again. So now, all of a sudden, the daughter came out now, right? Going against her and saying that how, because she was dating this black dude, Desiree Perez was not happy about it. And she tried her best to get this dude arrested, lose his business, all sorts of craziness. So this is the daughter right here coming out saying all sorts.
She's cute though. The daughter's cute. You have to say the daughter.
Yeah. A little Spanish thing, you know what I mean?
Taking legal action after she says she spent nearly 2 weeks in mental health institutions for no legitimate reason.
She claims in a recently filed lawsuit that it was orchestrated by her own mother, and others who should have protected her failed her.
NBC6 investigative reporter Amy Viteri has her story.
So legally, I can go home.
No, you cannot.
Why?
Because you're being bank arrested.
Body camera video shows the moments Broward deputies encouraged Demore Hadley to get into this pickup truck with people she says she didn't know.
I can't ride with you and you guys take me?
You're going to be in handcuffs, so dog's not going to be able to come?
No, I don't want to be handcuffed.
Okay. Demore says they took her to a hospital for a mental health evaluation after this doctor signed paperwork saying she was a risk to herself.
What he told me was, we received a call from your family that you tried to OD the night before.
A doctor she says she'd never met before. And according to Demore, it's her own mother who's behind it. In this lawsuit, she claims her mother, Desiree Perez, used unlawful means to have Demore falsely detained under Florida's Baker Act and Marchman Act.
So she's the CEO of Roc Nation, a company that she owns along with Sean Carter, the famous rapper Jay-Z.
The complaint alleges a conspiracy, saying Perez used her money, power, and influence to tear apart Demore and her husband, Javon Hadley, and created an enterprise of individuals to effectuate her plot.
To essentially try to separate me from my husband of domestic violence.
Perez has repeatedly denied these allegations in court filings. A month before Demore filed her complaint, we found her mother filed her own lawsuit against Demore's husband, Javon, citing evidence Perez says he has abused her daughter for years, something the couple has denied in court records. In that lawsuit, Desiree Perez says she moved to Baker Act her daughter, fearing she was at risk of suicide and abusing prescription drugs.
I haven't seen anything in my entire 20 years of practicing law that it is so clear that someone did something wrong.
Attorney Hilton Napoleon is representing DeMore in the lawsuit, which claims Perez harassed the couple for years, including making unfounded claims to get Javon arrested on multiple occasions for battery and domestic violence, charges prosecutors did not pursue.
The state attorney's office wrote a 11-page scathing closeout memoranda, which basically said that her mother made false allegations to the police.
In this closeout memo, a prosecutor with the Miami-Dade State Attorney's Office cites DeMore's lack of cooperation and raises concerns about some of the evidence and how it was obtained. The prosecutor also wrote DeMore was wrongfully Baker Acted last year, something her mother's attorney disputes in this letter challenging many of the memo's other conclusions.
I have 3 different collateral sources of information that say that she's been acting psychotic, that she threatened to overdose yesterday.
DeMore's lawsuit alleges her mother conspired with prominent psychiatrist Dr. Daniel Bober, seen here in body camera video, and others to have DeMore committed for a mental health evaluation. Bober cites supporting evidence from her family and diagnosed DeMore with an unspecified psychosis. He ordered she be taken to Memorial Regional Hospital, where he is chief of results from drug tests taken upon admission were negative, according to records DeMore shared with us.
They told me your tox screens came out negative, and I go, I know. I don't do drugs.
In a statement, Dr. Bober's attorney said DeMore was placed in the Baker Act for 38 hours due to the potential risk of imminent harm she posed to herself, adding failing to take appropriate action would have been a breach of Dr. Bober's ethical and professional obligations. While DeMore was at Memorial, her mother further petitioned to have her transported to a different facility under Florida's Marchman Act, claiming again in court records that DeMore suffered from severe drug abuse. A judge granted that petition.
They ran the test. They knew that she had no drugs in her system and she was not.
So if she's doing that to her own daughter, imagine what she's doing to Tory or anybody that she does not like.
Man,
right?
Where's Jerry Springer? You need to bring Jerry Springer out here. Bring them the mother and daughter together, and they gotta hash it out. That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Take them to Maury, man.
Yeah.
Not abusing drugs, and the fact that you can't do anything about it is scary.
DeMore was sent to this treatment center in Deerfield Beach, where Dr. Bober serves as medical director.
Where are the people that are supposed to protect me from this happening?
According to her lawsuit, DeMore requested a hair follicle test at that facility called Life Skills, which detects drug use for at least the past 3 months, and which showed no drugs had been in DeMore.
Sure.
Man.
That's crazy, right?
That is...
If your own mom could do that.
It's scary.
Family, blood.
But at the same time, Tony, there's a lot of families that do this. This is not new in society nowadays. There's literally like even fathers, push their kids to a whole different level. But yeah, like it's surprising that someone of that stature.
There is Yeah. No, I agree 100%. So there's this guy D Haven right here that was talking about Desiree Perez and how like crazy she is.
I just gotta ask this question before we get out of here. So Jaguar kind of alluded to Jay-Z may be next. What is your thoughts when you hear the world like they done took down Puff, they done took down all these other powerful black people? Jay-Z's like the lone standing.
Yeah, Jay is them people. If you do the history of most of the people that got in trouble in the industry, big trouble, who they went to for help? That's true. When Lil Wayne was in trouble, who did he go to? When Meek Mills was in trouble, who he go to? Meek Mills said it himself. Desiree helped me. You understand? So how could he be up? You know what I'm saying? He is them people. They go to him when they got problems. And what they gonna say if he don't come up in nothing? What they gonna say? Told you, he ain't got nothing to do with that. They still gonna cover it up anyway. But I don't think they coming after him at all. I don't think they got, like I said, I think he is them. He has a relationship with them. You talking about a woman that had a relationship with the feds for 20-something years. Right? When you working for them, you got an agent, your agent that's in charge of you. You think she don't have no relationships with over the years with all these agents that became retired and connected and this and that and the third till they just know shit? She got power. That's power over there. You know what I'm saying? Who you wanting one on your side? You got them on your side? You know what I'm saying? If something happened with him, it's going to be about a money situation. It ain't going to be nothing that's going to hurt.
So yeah, control, power. Tory Lanez have no chance against this whole, you know what I mean? Roc Nation.
Yeah. Whew. That's hot, man. That whole thing is heavy right there. But Tory Lanez, I mean, he got some people on his side. I know he got some governors and stuff like that. Now they're like opening the doors on it, but we're gonna have to see what the defense is gonna be like for like Megan Stallion and all those other people, because what Tory was really trying to do, I feel like, was protecting. But the one thing I can tell you, Tony, is that usually the first story is the true story. You remember the first story that came out with Tory that, you know, he was just mad. They were mad that she was messing with someone, like somebody or whatever. And then that was the same thing for someone else. But yeah, the first story is usually the true story, I guess.
Yeah. And then with all this evidence that came out and then showing that she, not only that she lied, there's evidence out there. And then like they hid the evidence
during
the trial. You know what I mean? In regards to the Tory case.
The body cam footage. That shocked me. I didn't the way they were acting, like there was no footage of that. And then all of a sudden, boom, in a heartbeat, he got stabbed, and then all of a sudden footage started leaking.
Yeah. It's because of the prosecutor. But back to this crazy lady over here that's probably behind the whole thing. You know, Desiree over here. Flacco, my boy Flacco is doing his thing. He's here investigating. I don't know when he have time to do all of that, but he's out here putting work.
Out of bushes and be like, I got you. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. So he broke this whole Roc Nation lawsuit against the mom versus Desiree Perez.
Lanez has been innocent all along, and that what happened to Tory Lanez isn't this new concept. It's something that Roc Nation has partaked in before. Two people have came forward to reveal that Roc Nation did them exactly how they did Tory Lanez. But not just with their words, they even got the local police confirming that they were deceived by Desiree Perez to bring on false charges. Tory Lanez from the very beginning has always been really vocal that he was being framed, that he was completely innocent, and that these charges and what was happening to him was coming directly from Desiree Perez, Roc Nation, and Megan Thee Stallion's handlers. And they were committed to making Megan Thee Stallion look like a victim and him like a perpetrator. And this was being done for career advancements or for other reasons. Because the storyline of Megan Thee Stallion being shot by her manic boyfriend is a much better story for Megan Thee Stallion's image than the alternative, which is Megan Thee Stallion and her friend got into a huge fight. She ripped her friend's chain off. They really got into it because the friend found out that Megan Thee Stallion was sleeping with a man that she was involved with first. And when they found out, they got into a fight. The friend got super upset because she was being beaten up by a woman in Megan Thee Stallion who was about 6 inches taller and 40 pounds heavier. So the friend pulled out a gun, began to shoot at Megan Thee Stallion. The friend missed. No bullets ever hit Megan Thee Stallion. They all got back into the vehicle. And when they got pulled over because the neighbors called the police, Megan Thee Stallion stepped on glass and tore open her leg or her foot. And that was the quote-unquote injury that was seen. So that story is still, like, she's still the victim, but it's not as juicy. So Desiree Perez and Roc Nation concocted this entire story, allegedly. We've seen them do it before on a smaller scale. Rihanna was the victim. Chris Brown did put his hands on her, but Roc Nation did a very good job at making a story surrounding that a whole lot different than what really happened. The real story was Rihanna and Chris Brown was driving. Rihanna began to hit Chris Brown. Chris Brown reacted in a fit of rage, which no man should ever do, but that's the story. But Roc Nation made sure the media was carrying this story of Rihanna confronted Chris Brown for cheating. She was distraught, And because Chris Brown was caught cheating, he put his hands on Rihanna. And that's the furthest thing from the truth. Rihanna put her hands on Chris Brown first. But we've already seen on a smaller scale what Roc Nation is capable of in terms of shipping the media narrative and making sure that whoever their act is, whoever the artist they're signed to, and whatever scandal they're a part of, that artist is going to leave that scandal with a preferable storyline to enhance their image. And it worked. Megan Thee Stallion went on to win Grammys, went on to win every award possible. Listen, I knew something was going on, bro. When Megan Thee Stallion won like a songwriter award, I said, "Come on, bro! Like, what exactly is Megan Thee Stallion winning a songwriter award for, bro?
That's true.
Like, what type of profound songwriting has Megan Thee Stallion participated in?" But this is what Roc Nation does, and this was the plan, allegedly, because Roc Nation loves to come after smaller YouTubers. We've seen it. But Tory Lanez and his conspiracy would feel like it's this grand story. It would feel like this is some type of thing that Tory Lanez just made up if he wasn't being backed up by Desiree Perez's own daughter, who's alleging that Desiree Perez, with the help of Roc Nation, has done something very similar to her and her husband that they did to Tory Lanez.
A South Florida woman is taking legal action after she says she spent nearly 2 weeks in mental health institutions for no legitimate reason.
She claims in a recently filed lawsuit that it was orchestrated by her own mother, and others who should have protected her failed her.
NBC6 investigative reporter Amy Viteri has her story.
So legally, I can't go home.
No, you cannot.
Why?
Because you're being Baker active.
Body camera video shows the moments Broward deputies encouraged Demore Hadley to get into this pickup truck with people she says she didn't know.
Damn, man.
Ride with you and you guys take me?
You're going to be in handcuffs, the dog's not going to be
Can you
here?
imagine?
I'm gonna be in handcuffs.
Okay.
Demore says
She was there to in a business meeting. They was like, "Yeah, let's meet up somewhere, and then we're gonna negotiate prices or whatever the situation was." She pulled up in the parking lot. They was like, "Yeah, you know what? You're gonna have to pull up with me.
Yeah, get in this truck.
We're gonna send you to
You're
the
going
hospital."
to the hospital. Not even knowing she needed the hospital.
It's crazy, right? That's crazy.
they took her to a hospital for a mental health evaluation after this doctor signed paperwork saying she was a risk to herself.
What he told me was, we received a call from your family that you tried to OD the night before.
A doctor she says she'd never met before.
Even how they got her institutionalized is super janky and super sketchy. Imagine being called to a particular parking lot for a business inquiry for a business that you run with your husband. And then when you get there, it's a bunch of random people trying to kidnap you and put you in their car and take you to an institution. And you're like, wait, hold on, what's going on here? I don't know you guys. And then they tell you that you have to go with them and you can't go home because this doctor whom you never met before is telling them and law enforcement that you are a risk to yourself and they have to institutionalize you. This is usually how this works. It's a network of cohorts they use to torment your life. And we've seen it with Tory Lanez. Roc Nation has used a network of people to allegedly torment Tory Lanez's life. In this situation, her mother, Desiree Perez, the CEO and president of Roc Nation, is using similar tactics to what they use with Tory Lanez to get her institutionalized, to ruin her life. It's a network of cohorts. They've managed to get the lead doctor at a mental health institution to say that she's a danger to herself without never seeing her ever in life.
Welcome back. It's called the Baker Act. Under state law, people can be forced into a facility for a mental health evaluation if, among other reasons, they are a danger to themselves or others.
But I disagree with that.
I
disagree.
Then we might
that's harassment. So if I don't like my neighbor or I don't like you, I could just make up some shit and then they're just gonna arrest your dumb ass and then just put you in.
Phone call.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want to bring me my Chinese food? All right, I'm making a quick phone call right now. You need to go there. Oh my
that is
God.
crazy, right?
But in a new lawsuit, a South Florida woman says that she was held in mental institutions for nearly 2 weeks for no legitimate reason. And she shared body camera video that she says proves her case and raises questions about how this law meant to protect people can be implemented. NBC6 investigative reporter Amy Viteri takes a closer look.
Prevent me from leaving home.
The incident started on March 27th of last year.
So legally, I can't go home.
No.
Why?
Body camera video shows Broward Sheriff's deputies met on the side of the road in Dania Beach.
Hello. going? How's it going?
By this man.
I'm waiting for a car to go by. There's a girl driving it. She's like a kind of mentally unstable person.
BSO has not responded to inquiries about who called the deputies there, but it appears they're taking direction from the man in the gray t-shirt.
She's heading over here right now. Pinging her or? Yes, they have a GPS on her.
He asks deputies to follow him to a nearby parking lot once she arrives.
I have a doctor, Dr. Boba from Hollywood Memorial Hospital, who's over there right now waiting for her to show up, and he's going to bake her out.
And when I showed up, it obviously was not an estimate.
Demore Hadley says she was lured to that parking lot by someone posing as a potential client for the landscaping company she runs with her then boyfriend, now husband.
The Baker Act, officially known as the Florida Mental Health Act, is a Florida law that provides for the involuntary examination and treatment of individuals with mental illness who are a danger to themselves or others. Is named after Maxine Eldridge Baker. But that's the problem here. According to Demore, she don't have a history of mental illness. That this entire story of her being mentally ill and her being a harm to herself was completely made up by her mom, using the same tactic that she used against Tory Lanez to essentially get Demore institutionalized. And according to Demore, this is all over her not wanting to leave her husband. That her mom, Desiree Perez, the CEO and president of Roc Nation, don't like who she's married to, don't like the person she chose to love. And because of that, she has told her, hey, you don't leave him, I'm going to have you institutionalized. And she made well on that promise, according to Demore. But the rabbit hole goes much deeper. Desiree Perez allegedly used her network of cohorts to get the husband arrested on multiple occasions for things that he did not do. She would get him arrested for domestic violence or for putting his hands on Demore, when Demore will say, that's just not true. He never put his hands on me. He has never done anything to me. My mom, who has a vast network, who has a long reach, who has a lot of power, was able to get my husband locked up for things he didn't do because she don't want to see us together. The lawsuit names Roc Nation, Desiree Perez, and a bunch of other entities as defendants because she's very clear here. She believes that Desiree Perez didn't act alone, that Desiree Perez used her immense control, network, and reach that she has because of Roc Nation to torment the life of her and her husband. You're about to understand why Roc Nation and Desiree Perez is undefeated in the industry when it comes to beats. You're about to understand how powerful their reach is and why anyone who ever went against them fell, and why they are the industry biggest bullies, why they've been running amok in the industry uncontested, because nobody really want that smoke. The only person who ever acted like they want that smoke was Kanye West, and we've seen what happened with Kanye West. July 18th, 2022, they discovered that Desiree Perez allegedly conspired to plant a camera and listening device in Demore and Javon Hadley's bedroom without their consent, illegally recording their private communications. Now, how was she able to get a camera and a recording device in their private bedroom? One can only assume. Again, it's a vast network that has really helped them to torment these people's lives. The goal of this was to record Javon doing anything that could be interpreted as physical or verbal abuse and try to use that to split them up or try to use the court to get Javon arrested. March 1st of 2024, they discovered the hacking of an iCloud account. Desiree Perez or Roc Nation tech staff allegedly hacked Demore's iCloud account, accessing private data such as text messages, photographs, and videos. Evidence shows an unauthorized iPhone 2 device pinging from Roc Nation headquarters in New York. She only has one iPhone. So when she seen that there was an iPhone 2 attached to her iCloud account.
That's a RICO.
Bro, two things.
Wouldn't you consider that
What
a
is
RICO? A RICO.
Yeah.
Racketeering.
Definitely.
You have a bunch of people working for you
Definitely.
just to spy on your own daughter and then doing all of that, false allegation and all of that just to, jam her in the system. And the boyfriend in the system on top of that.
You know what it is. Her narrative is basically like she wanted the daughter to marry someone rich or something. Basically, like wants to put her influence and, do her thing. But that's a lot. She should have just, I'm not going to lie, instead of that, just put that private cam, do the Kim Kardashian thing with Ray J with them and, make her make money. But other than that, damn,
Technically, that's what she was trying to do. Because she had cameras all over the house too. So that's another thing. We'll
She's
get to
the new
that.
Suge Knight of the East.
She was confused. So she would write, the problem is Damori only had one iPhone device attached to her iCloud account, the one she literally had in her hand. So not surprising that when she seen there was an iPhone 2 that had access to her iCloud that had a location at the Roc Nation headquarters, she thought, what's going on here? I was hacked. Diddy is currently in Rico, running a criminal organization that helped them torment and commit other crimes. This is the definition of a RICO conspiracy. This is the definition of somebody using her resources to commit crimes, using a network of criminals, a network of people and professionals with specific skills to help her commit crimes. Hacking somebody's iCloud to try to get messages or anything to where you could use it against her husband to get her husband locked up and her husband out of here because you don't want her and the husband to be together. Yo, if this woman is this obsessive and allegedly this evil when it comes to her actual daughter and her son-in-law, imagine how much worse she gets when it comes to somebody who she has no form of love for at all. September 14th, 2023, according to Damani, Desiree Perez lured her to her Pinecrest, Florida home under false pretenses for an intervention with an unlicensed counselor, Victoria Hunter. Desiree confiscated Damori's dog, prevented her from leaving, and threatened the Baker actor. As we've seen, she made good on that promise if she stayed with Javon, using a racial slur. Now, according to Damari, Desiree called Javon the hard ER. Now, the Pinecrest police apparently came. They intervened for like a false imprisonment, but they didn't arrest Desiree or charge Desiree due to her influence, according to Damari. Now, September 14, 2023, the same day, Desiree confronted Javon at Damari's grandfather's home, claiming she knew everything about their activities and threatening his life if he stayed with Damari. So, do you understand here now, man, when people say Tory Lanez was framed, that this is not some type of outlandish accusation. This is a very possible thing. These people are the epitome of evil. All right, October 1st, 2023, stalking and harassment by private investigators. After the Hadleys moved to Homestead, Florida, Desiree Perez, again, this is to me the scariest part, and it really shows the power, the influence, and the wealth. After they moved to get away from Desiree rented a house across the street, installed cameras, and hired a CTS Research Inc. investigator to follow them 24/7, often at unsafe distances causing fear. One unlicensed investigator displayed a gun while following Javon.
In this lawsuit, she claims her mother, Desiree Perez, used unlawful means to have Damori falsely detained under Florida's Baker Act and Marchman Act.
So she's the CEO of Roc Nation, a company that she owns along with Sean Carter, the famous rapper Jay-Z.
The complaint alleges a conspiracy, saying Perez used her money, power, and influence to tear apart Damori and her husband, Javon Hadley, and created an enterprise of individuals to effectuate her plot.
To essentially try to separate me from my husband and to falsely accuse him of domestic violence.
Perez has repeatedly denied these allegations in court filings. A month before Damori filed her complaint, we found her mother filed her own lawsuit against Damori's husband, Javon. Citing evidence, Perez says he has abused her daughter for years, something the couple has denied in court records. In that lawsuit, Desiree Perez says she moved to Baker Act her daughter, fearing she was at risk of and abusing prescription drugs.
I haven't seen anything in my entire 20 years of practicing law that it is so clear that someone did something wrong.
Attorney Hilton Napoleon is representing Damori in the lawsuit, which claims Perez harassed the couple for years, including making unfounded claims to get Javon arrested on multiple occasions for battery and domestic violence.
Y'all ain't hear nothing yet, bro. Y'all about to fully understand why I affectionately call her the Griselda Blanco of the music industry. This woman is Teflon Don, bruh. Yo, she's Debo. She shut it down, bruh. It don't get more Debo than her. Tory Lanez ain't stand a chance, yo. October of 2023, Desiree Perez allegedly resolved financial issues for Damori's employer. Now, the daughter works somewhere. That company was having financial issues. Desiree Perez, having infinite amount of money, gave them a loan. Said, hey, I'll bill you guys out. But in exchange, according to Damori, she asked for control over Damori. Now, when Desiree Perez billed out the company, Iconic increased Damori's salary from $65,000 to $125,000. And that would appear to be a good thing. However, they imposed excessive work demands to separate her from Javon. December 12th to 13th of 2023, Iconic creative owner Liz and Benny Fragilla required Damori to attend a Zoom training with the Nike Academy, which was a cover for a psychological evaluation by Rachel Bernstein, posing as Rachel Thomas.
Wow.
Bernstein is a California therapist specializing in cults, was not affiliated with Nike. A fake Nike Academy profile was created and later deleted. If she didn't have mental health issues before, she would have mental health issues now, bruh. I don't understand anybody who could bear that who's not strong mentally. To me, this is all the proof I need that she don't have mental health issues. To endure this and still be strong and standing up, you're somebody special, bruh. Imagine your crazy mama who's been stalking you all across the U.S., bruh. You buy a home somewhere out of town, she rents a home across the street, hires 24/7 private investigators to follow your lies every.
Would you still marry her? You know the mom is
Probably
crazy
not.
like that. You
Not
know
even.
she's gonna follow you. She already put you in jail.
I think I'd be done, dude. I don't think I'd be able to handle all that shit. It's not worth it.
It's not worth it, right?
Because you don't know when it's gonna stop.
But the daughter's bad though. She's
the
bad.
The thing is, like I know some like mothers that are bad. You know some mothers that are bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like I know they'll do a lot. They'll try to impede your life between the two of you and stuff. But this is just. But the thing is, she got money though, Tony. So
that's a whole different game. She's playing chess.
If you definitely think about it, dude. Like, you know, let's be real quick. Roc Nation, they're talking about Roc Nation. All right. Back in the day, what about Suge's record label? You know what I'm saying? What about like Puffy's record label or Bad Boys? Like, and let's go above that. What about Interscope and all that stuff? Like, you know, like they all got crazy amount of influence. But this one right here, though, impressive. I'm just gonna say impressive. Impressive.
To your own daughter.
Impressive.
Everywhere, bro.
And you haven't hit anything. You haven't hit anything. And she hasn't gone to jail or nothing. Like, impressive.
No, I think she will, yo. She deserves to go to jail and free Tory. Hopefully, Tory come home by Christmas.
I don't know. I don't think she's going to jail though. She's up there, bro. Oh,
she's too connected.
She's embedded. She's just like a politician.
Yeah.
Devices. You don't know how she did it.
Let's watch this.
And your entire life is under 24/7 surveillance. You don't have nothing called privacy in your life. You thinking the only piece you have, and it sounds weird, is your job, is your employer. And then all of a sudden, this crazy mama is able to build them out financially. So now she has control over you. So now your employer begin to work for her, begin to be one of her co-conspirators, and now they are engaging in practices to help her essentially institutionalize you by doing things like bringing like a therapist under the guise of a work meeting, and that therapist then have a conversation with you, and she jot down a couple of notes and then use that to institutionalize you. This is insane, yo. When playing nice and increasing the salary ain't work, then they started playing dirty. So according to Damori, all right, early January of 2024, Iconic Creative fired her without explanation, despite recent positive reviews allegedly at Desiree's behest. Iconic withheld payment for December of 2023 work, requiring Damori to sign a gag order to receive it, which she refused. I feel like this is killing two birds with one stone. The first thing this really like gets rid of is, hey, yo, if you want your payment, sign a gag order that you will not talk about anything that goes on, including the fake Nike profile and the therapist disguising herself as a Nike employee so we could institutionalize you. Sign that. Well, no, I'm not signing. Okay, yeah, you're fired. All right. And then also, too, her being fired now makes her reliant on Desiree Perez to pay her bills. So now she's financially now has to rely on Desiree Perez. And I feel like that was the goal, right? I can control you if you are dependent on me to eat and feed your family. If you've been following this Tory Lanez case, you're about to get some real deja vu. Because what Desiree Perez allegedly did to Damori's husband, Javon, is eerily similar to what Tory Lanez is accusing them of doing to him. Between December 26th and 30th of 2023, Desiree falsely reported to Miami-Dade police that Javon battered Damori, her daughter, on January 16, 2022. On December 30th, she made a false 911 call claiming Javon kidnapped Damori at Pinto Farms, leading to his arrest in front of his nephews. Making a call to the police that this man kidnapped his own wife is crazy. The state attorney's office noted, that this kind of looks a little janky, a kidnapping claim on his own wife.
Is she married?
Who? Desiree?
Desiree Perez. Because she sounds like she ain't getting dick down or something like that. Because there's no way she has so much time in the day to just plan all
that. It doesn't even sound like she's working, dog. It doesn't even sound like she's busy.
What is Jay doing over there,
You need to pull the Dogecoin, pull that Elon Musk, and check your employees, man. You should send an email and ask them what's the last 5 things they did in 5 hours.
All of them got to go down. Jay is one of my top 5 favorite artists, but this is
Jay is one of my favorite rappers, dog. He needs to tighten up the loose ends at Roc Nation. Let's just say
looks a little janky, but they still charge Javon because Desiree Perez, again, her influence, right? They initially pursued this dude, arrested him, and charged him because they felt like they had to, according to Damori, due to Desiree's influence. Now, here's where it gets spooky. Here's where it gets really nasty, okay? January 8th of 2024, Desiree hired an attorney, Brett Shorts, who went to Javon's court date, and falsely claimed to represent Damori in Javon's misdemeanor battery case without her knowledge or consent. Shorts pushed for unfounded trafficking charges against Javon. So not only was it enough to make the call to get him arrested, but you hire a lawyer to go to court to speak on the wife's behalf because bruh, listen, it's easy to get off if the wife is claiming this never happened. But if the wife got an attorney coming to court and telling the judge, hey, judge, he did it. He's a menace to society. She's fearing for his life. Lock him up. You're going to get railroaded. Roc Nation and Jay-Z is already being sued, allegedly, by a Pennsylvania attorney for having an illegal influence on prosecutors. Damori is about to lay out the influence that Desiree Perez attempted to have over prosecutors in Javon's case. February 1st of 2024, Desiree Perez emailed prosecutors using her Roc Nation email requesting they extend Javon's case to keep him on edge, which they accommodated, allowing her to continue her actions. Tell me someone you think have that much pull to where they can tell the prosecutors, hey, listen, man, I know you guys are probably going to dismiss the charges, but just extend it a little longer, man, just to keep him on edge. And they did it. March 26th of 2024, attempted manipulation.
That's what I'm saying. It's a RICO.
Desiree directed Roc Nation employee Natalie Anderson to present a fabricated audio of a woman screaming, "Don't grape me," to Damori's therapist, Dr. Luz Barrio, falsely claiming it was Javon assaulting Damori. Dr. Barrio, familiar with Damori, refused to support a Baker Act. This is textbook racketeering. This is textbook criminal organization. But Desiree Perez has already cooperated with the feds to take down the cartel. She wore a wire on the cartel. She's a federal informant. She can run amok because she got the feds in her back pocket too. This is what Tory Lanez was going against, yo. That man never stood a chance ever in life. But the thing about this is not even a situation where, the daughter could be lying. How? How could the daughter be lying? From my opinion, allegedly, I would think this is true, allegedly. Because think about it for a second, yo. She's listing dates. She's listing names of other people involved. This story could be easily debunked. Contact the therapist, Dr. Luz Barrio, and ask him, did this happen? So So this is a situation where there's probably a 95% chance that these things occurred, and that this woman is out here squeezing the police, squeezing professionals, squeezing tech people, squeezing a lot of powerful people and companies. And she's doing all of this to make her daughter's life hell. Now imagine what she would do to someone that she don't like. Now do you think it's still outrageous, the possibility that this woman could very well utilize Goscon, the DA, to bring charges against Tory Lanez and set him up and frame him? I don't think so. And anyone who was calling those accusations outlandish, you're out of your mind. March 29th, 2024, Fraudulent Marchman Act petition. Desiree filed a fraudulent ex parte Marchman Act petition falsely claiming Damari sought drugs from Liz Fragala and this name Garcia. Both later testified Damari did not use drugs or alcohol, contradicting Desiree claims. I want to applaud the husband in this situation. Because if this was me, if I'm getting arrested multiple times because of your crazy mother, bro,
that's what we were talking about earlier.
Walking away from the situation and saying it's not worth it, bro. But the husband stayed.
No way.
And you're about to witness how many times and how crazy the collusion and the conspiracy was against this poor man. How many times his life was affected? How many times he got arrested? How many times his freedom got taken away for doing absolutely nothing? And the local police admitted to such. They even wrote a letter, according to Damari, like pretty much chastising Desiree Perez for using her influence to get this man falsely charged. April 5th, 2024, Javon was arrested again. So Desiree, with attorneys Laura Gotts and Jessica Casso, pressured Miami-Dade police to arrest Javon for an alleged September 11th, 2023 battery, despite prior findings of no probable cause. The arrest relied on recycled evidence and was facilitated by Desiree's influence. How do you arrest somebody using the same evidence in the past you found no probable cause? But because somebody contacted you and say you're arrested,
bro,
it's connected. When you got money like that,
no. My question is like this. So Desiree has been calling cops. Like, they probably know her by first name basis, right? So when they call her, oh, okay, here we go. We gotta go arrest what's his name, Damari, because he probably hit his wife again. Like, when does it like link up to them? Like, that's the thing I'm questioning. It's this kind of like, Desiree is gonna call you about this Damari thing in the next 3 months. Like,
well, she's still created a chain. There's paperwork now, so that's good for the lawsuit.
Nah, it's just
arrested him.
Yeah,
but that's the question. Is just kind of like they keep not finding anything. They keep doing it. But how are you gonna arrest someone when you don't have?
Why not arrest her?
Yeah,
or
no, but
like
I'm just saying, why they keep arresting him? Every time they arrest him, they don't find any like probable cause or evidence. Yeah, but they keep taking him in because of her. Like, now it's like to the point of where I'm blaming the cops. Now, like, you got to do your due diligence.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. As a racketeering act, which she should be facing, everybody should be penalized.
I don't think she's gonna face it, bro. There's no way. And if they're gonna,
she's already working for the feds.
And then at the same time, if they're gonna really do something, it's gonna be behind closed doors, and they're gonna probably just sign a check and be like, "All right, I'm done with you." Because now, I feel like what they did is like, I'm gonna marry your daughter anyways and shove it in your ass. You know what I'm saying? I think that was the biggest problem for her anyways.
April 8th, 2024, third fraudulent arrest of Javon. Desiree's private investigators reported Javon for violating a stay-away order when he entered his home to feed a cat, leading to his arrest. Officer admitted they acted on higher-up orders, and the state noted the arrest was based on questionable surveillance. Teflon Don, man. Even the police don't know why they're arresting this dude, but they got to arrest this dude. Our supervisors told us to arrest him. But when he said higher ups, it's coming from the supervisor, boss. Even the DA said higher ups, bro. I don't know why. Yo, that level of power you cannot compete.
That's Attorney General.
I'm terrified at that level of power. That level of power have no business being in hip hop, to be honest with you, bro. It has no business being in hip hop, bro. Because this is a woman who's essentially playing the role as a slave catcher. She's literally running up amok, ruining people's lives for the sake of it. And this is someone who's attached to Jay-Z, who was empowered by Jay-Z. But at this point, I'll be real, bro. I don't know who empowered who. I can't tell you if Jay-Z empowered her or if she empowered Jay-Z. Because for some reason, this woman went from being a federal informant to her and Jay-Z going into business just out the blue. And she has risen to power. She's now like the most powerful executive, probably second to Lucian. I remember specifically when Jay-Z was going through the whole lawsuit saga with Tony Busby. Yo, they got this YouTube channel here demonetized for speaking on Jay-Z. We've never seen this before. We've never seen a YouTube channel get completely demonetized. Not just the videos, no, completely demonetized out of here for allowing Jaguar Wright to speak on Jay-Z. And that's allegedly, right? Because that's what the YouTube channel said.
We don't get
April
demonetized.
26, 2024, attorney Lauren Gotts, hired by Desiree Perez, appeared at the state attorney's office during DeMaury's sworn statement, falsely claiming to represent her and the witness to intimidate her. April 22nd, 2024, Desiree filed a lawsuit against DeMaury, falsely claiming the ownership of a car titled in DeMaury's name, alleging a mutual agreement that DeMaury violated. Once the criminal charges didn't work and they were able to overcome it, she began to pursue them allegedly civilly. She began to pursue Javon. She sued her own daughter, allegedly. Now, the Javon lawsuit you guys heard a little bit about earlier in this video. We will cover the full Javon lawsuit probably in another video. If you guys want it, comment below. We'll do a full deep dive into her lawsuit against Javon.
I have 3 different collateral sources of information that say that she's been acting.
Yeah, it get deeper, yo.
Man, I ain't gonna lie to you. I thank the Lord above that I got the mom I got, right?
Yeah, she's not aggressive like that. She's not gonna follow your craziness.
Man. And I'm saying, don't get me wrong, I've seen some pretty terrible fathers and pretty terrible mothers, but I just never seen this obsession to destroy someone's life. I've never seen that. You know? And I don't know what is the dude's name, Damari? I don't know what Damari did to the mom to make her go up there and spend all those money on the.
Yeah, he's just dicking down the daughter, son, and she's not having it, like, by a black dude. Like, she's hoping it was some Puerto Rican dude or like some white dude that have money, like, at the end of the day. Or if he's black, it need to be like a upper echelon, like a, you know what I mean, making some serious bread. And there's this combo dude, you know what I mean, chilling.
All I can say,
and just, blowing her daughter's back. And she's hating.
Everything she's doing, it requires money. And like Flacco said, shout out to Flacco on this one, that woman got infinite amount of money.
Of resource.
Damn.
Yeah.
Tory, I'm sorry, bro. I want you out and everything. I need, I want that summer music, but I don't know.
He's out for Christmas. I'm telling you. Tory is going to be out for Christmas, yo. That Republican lady chick, she's killing it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, we went from one bad Spanish chick like Desiree Perez to Ana Polonina, which is a good Spanish chick. You know what I mean? We're balancing it out, man. Aros con pollo,
is it still wrong
for
me to say Jay-Z still one
Desiree
of my top
Perez.
five? I said, is it still wrong for me to say Jay-Z is one of my top 5?
Yeah, no, it's not, because he's in my top 5 too. No, he's in my top.
How her daughter is currently suing her and Roc Nation because the daughter is alleging that Desiree Perez used her influence and connections and network through Roc Nation to basically torment her life, get her institutionalized 4 times using lies, manipulating people, bribing people, and using her network of people to essentially control her. She would also claim that she got her husband locked up 6 times on false pretenses. The police will confirm that the husband's arrest was under false pretenses, and they apologize. And she will claim this is all being done because she wouldn't leave her husband after Desiree Perez asked her to leave her husband.
Welcome back. It's called the Baker Act. Under state law, people can be forced into a facility for a mental health evaluation if, among other reasons, they are a danger to themselves or others.
But in a new lawsuit, a South Florida woman says that she was held in mental institutions for nearly 2 weeks for no legitimate reason. And she shared body camera video that she says proves her case and raises questions about how this law meant to protect people can be implemented. NBC6 investigative reporter Amy Bateri takes a closer look.
Prevent me from making a wrong.
The incident started on March 27th of last year.
So legally, I can't go home.
No.
Why?
Body camera video shows Broward Sheriff's deputies met on the side of the road in Dania Beach.
Hello. How's it going? How's it going?
By this man.
I'm waiting for a car to go by. There's a girl driving it. She's like a kind of mentally unstable person.
BSO has not responded to inquiries about who called the deputies there, but it appears they're taking direction from the man in the gray T-shirt.
She's heading over here right now. Meeting her or? Yes, they have a GPS on her.
He asks deputies to follow him to a nearby parking lot once she arrives.
I have a doctor, Dr. Boba from Hollywood North Hospital, who's over there right now waiting for her to show up, and he's going to bake her out.
And when I showed up, it obviously was not an estimate.
Demore Hadley says she was lured to that parking lot by someone posing as a potential client for the landscaping company she runs with her then boyfriend, now husband.
She claimed her mother used the full powers of her criminal organization against her. Claims that once the daughter refused to leave her husband, the mom just upped the ante. She got involved with the daughter's job. She was able to bail out the job financially, and she used the job to essentially torment the daughter some more. And when the daughter wouldn't leave her husband, she had the job fire her so she could be financially dependent on Desiree Perez. Allegedly, that's according to the daughter. She had their home wiretapped with cameras, surveillance, audio devices. She bought a house across the street from them when they tried to move to get away from her. This entire situation is crazy. But this particular video will be discussing another lawsuit that Desiree Perez filed against the daughter's husband directly. Now, this lawsuit was discussed briefly in our last video. So essentially, Desiree Perez has been using her influence, according to the daughter, to get Miami-Dade police to arrest her husband on false pretenses. There's an email that Desiree Perez sent to the chief of police or to the Miami-Dade Police Department from the Roc Nation email, letting them know, hey, I know y'all might drop these charges, but extend it some more so we could put some pressure on them. So these are things that are happening. Now, the Miami-Dade Police Department released like a memorandum essentially saying, hey, listen, man, we made a mistake. This man is innocent. These charges, was filed under false pretenses. And they essentially chastised Desiree Perez for even getting involved or using her influence to do these things. Desiree Perez will file a response claiming she stands by it and that she did nothing wrong.
And according to Demore, it's her own mother who's behind it. In this lawsuit, she claims her mother, Desiree Perez, used unlawful means to have Demore falsely detained under Florida's Baker Act and Marchman Act.
So she's the CEO of Roc Nation, a company that she owns along with Sean Carter, the famous rapper Jay-Z.
The complaint alleges a conspiracy, saying Perez used her money, power, and influence to tear apart Demore and her husband, Javon Hadley, and created an enterprise of individuals to effectuate her plot.
To essentially try to separate me from my husband and to falsely accuse him of domestic violence.
Perez has repeatedly denied these allegations in court filings. A month before Demore filed her complaint, we found her mother filed her own lawsuit against Demore's husband, Javon. Citing evidence, Perez says he has abused her daughter for years, something the couple has denied in court records. In that lawsuit, Desiree Perez says she moved to Baker Act her daughter, fearing she was at risk of and abusing prescription drugs.
I haven't seen anything in my entire 20 years of practicing law that it is so clear that someone did something wrong.
Attorney Hilton Napoleon is representing DeMore in the lawsuit, which claims Perez harassed the couple for years, including making unfounded claims to get Javon arrested on multiple occasions for battery and domestic violence, charges prosecutors did not pursue.
The state attorney's office wrote a 11-page scathing closeout memoranda, which basically said that her mother made false allegations to the police.
In this closeout memo, a prosecutor with the Miami-Dade State Attorney's Office cites DeMore's lack of cooperation and raises concerns about some of the evidence and how it was obtained. The prosecutor also wrote DeMore was wrongfully Baker Acted last year, something her mother's attorney disputes in this letter, challenging many of the memo's other conclusions.
I went digging and I found the Desiree Perez lawsuit against the husband. And this is one of the craziest things I've ever read. As we all know, every charge the husband was ever arrested for got dropped and the police apologized, right? Things like Desiree Perez got the police to believe that this man was trafficking his own wife, that he raped her, all type of things, all right? Now, what I would say though, when I read this lawsuit that Desiree Perez filed against her daughter's husband, the lawsuit is still active, by the way. When I read this lawsuit, my initial jerk reaction was, this began from a good place. This began from a place of a concerned mother, and it quickly got out of control. Now, like Desiree Perez's daughter and her husband was staying in one of the family homes. And Desiree Perez bugged the house with cameras, with audio recording devices, all type of things, trying to catch them doing something. And they was being recorded 24/7 for about a year or two. And she was only able to show two occurrences where she felt like some level of violation and abuse was happening. And from that particular moment, she wanted her daughter to have nothing to do with the husband, and she demanded she left the husband. And when she refused to do so, she then enacted the full force of Roc Nation and a criminal enterprise upon her daughter and the husband. And we're going to review the two things because I have the video and I have the wiretap audio as well. We're going to review the two things that made Desiree Perez demand her daughter leave the husband or else.
Yo, Flacco,
Bro, I was just thinking about that. I was like, this dude.
Your boy Flacco, Sherlock Holmes.
No one does private investigation journalism anymore. Like, he's an actual real journalist right now. At least
he's doing his work.
At least he's probably putting in more facts than the real news sometimes. But let's see.
Now, when I play these wiretaps in the video, I do want to say, bruh, the daughter has accused Desiree Perez of creating fake evidence. Like, for example, she played an audio of the daughter supposedly crying out, screaming, getting raped to the daughter's psychologist. And the psychologist was like, hold on, like, I know how your daughter sounds like. That's not her. But she was trying to use the daughter's doctor to institutionalize her. So she gave the doctor fake audio, allegedly. All right, that's what the daughter said. Gave the doctor fake audio so the doctor could institutionalize her. Turned out it wasn't her. So Desiree Perez has been accused before of creating fake wiretaps, fake evidence to torment somebody. The husband is about to walk in. The daughter is in the red sweats. He walks in. He's upset. Now, he does some weirdo stuff. If this is an authentic video, he's a weirdo for doing this. So he goes in, and it looks like he throws a punch, and then he grabs something from out of her hand and then pushes her. He throws her into the door, and then he leaves. I also obtained one of the wiretap audios that Desiree Perez is claiming that this is proof that the husband has been putting his hands on her daughter, and the husband has been essentially making the daughter do things against her will and violating her.
Especially because I know I've been sick. I'm asking you again. You think it's okay to wake up at 9 o'clock and call somebody at 9:30 for a business call? You think that's okay? Look me in my eye and tell me that's okay.
Yes, 30 minutes prior, yes.
You're going to wake up at 9 o'clock and make a business call at 9:30.
Yes, I wouldn't do anything else. I would just literally go outside, take me out, and make the call.
I feel nasty even listening to this audio. Nobody should have access to this audio. This is a married couple arguing about a call being made too early. Now, do I think the dude is tripping? Maybe, yeah, but I've never been married. I don't know what type of routine they have going on in terms of why a call at 9 a.m. would piss him off. But this should be something private. There's something nasty about knowing that like this house was bugged and wiretapped without their knowledge of their audio being recorded 24/7, and no matter where they go in their own home, they can't have a conversation that won't be overheard by somebody else. So when they are arguing, she claims that sound we just heard of the she claims that the husband like cocked back a gun. I didn't hear a gun sound, to be honest. It sounds like he was rolling out his computer or something. Now, she would also say that this next conversation they're about to have, so they have a joint business together, and he's trying to convince the daughter to take 5% of whatever like he's paying her. So apparently he's been paying her a certain percentage of the proceeds because he kind of runs the business, and he's not trying to convince her to go from whatever he's paying her to taking 5%. Again, this is some married couple stuff. We shouldn't be hearing this, but we're hearing this because Desiree Perez bugged up their home. So she presented this as evidence of abuse. Now, he's about to start having a conversation trying to convince her to take 5%.
Change my subsidy to 5%. I'll pay you when I want to pay you, because you're going to be in the 5%, Amori. You cool with 5%? Shut up! Man, stop it! This fake ass crime. I feel like breaking this motherfucker.
It's gangster too, little bit.
Oh, my mama. You know your mama think you the dumbest motherfucker ever? No, look me in my eye. Look me what I'm talking to you. Look me in my eye.
That's why Desiree is bad. He's hearing that shit live.
No, I'm talking, man. No, I'm talking.
So the family tries to get involved in the conversation, and that's where you see the loud screaming. So it would appear the family don't like him, and they feel like he's bad for her. I'll be real, from what I'm hearing, dude sounds like an abusive weirdo. Like, dude sounds like a dude who is emotionally out of control, and it don't really sound like he's good to her. To be honest, I'm gonna give Desiree Perez the benefit of the doubt. The husband seems like an asshole. Like, he don't really seem like a good guy. I wouldn't want that man dating my daughter either from that particular
Hell no, bro.
However,
that's her decision.
That is their decision, bro. Right? That is crazy.
Thinking, yo, this dude is bad for my daughter. But if your daughter is choosing to be with this dude, she's choosing to forgive, she's choosing to overcome, she's choosing to move forward with him and to love him, then you don't get to take it upon yourself now to say, okay, I'm going to just make sure my daughter's life is a living hell so she could leave him. You know what? Since the police won't prosecute him for what I showed him doing on camera because I obtained it illegally, I wiretap his house and obtained his evidence illegally. So because they won't prosecute him for that, I'm going to go ahead and try to get them to prosecute him for other things such as trafficking and other charges that don't stick up in court and the police apologize for, right? So this lawsuit that was filed against the husband was actually filed by Desiree Perez and other members of the family, but it was led by Desiree Perez. Desiree Perez, Olga, Zayas, Melodies, Garcias Gonzalez, Denise Milagros Gonzalez. Apparently, these are all family members.
Oh, she got all the Gonzalez, bro. What? You don't want to go against the Gonzalez? You heard me?
But let me tell you something.
She got all of them. You see that shit? Desiree Perez, yes, Olga. Oh, she's not a Gonzalez? Yeah, she's not a Gonzalez, but she got all the Gonzalez's, bro.
Bro, let me.
Melindy.
Can I tell you something? They're claiming them. Can I tell you something real quick? Yo, now listening to those tapes,
yeah.
Though,
you glitching, but all right, go ahead.
I said listening to those tapes
You
though.
stuck and stupid. Jay-Z's pressing the
Nah,
button. Go ahead.
chill.
What?
Wait, you got me? You got me?
I got you, but you frozen, yo. Jay-Z's pressing the button. I'm telling you.
Man.
Or Desiree.
No,
Desiree's like, nah, I got
Desiree's
this.
pressing button.
I
No,
got you. I got you. You bet.
I was just saying that like now listening to those tapes, I can see where the mom's snapping. Like now, because think about it. Like,
Nah,
you know,
see,
you're
you sound
listening.
bad. Sound bad.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying like it's right for her to whatever. You can see because she's also not sitting well, right? She's not sitting well. So she probably heard that and she snapped.
Yeah. I could barely hear you, but I think I understand what you're saying. At the end of the day, I think because she had video evidence and audio evidence and hearing him going crazy like that, and then on top of that, she probably seen the videos, those videos, because you remember the house was rigged. So he probably seen the way he's smashing her, like, you know what I mean, breaking her back out, and then she's loving it. She's a freak, and she's like, nah, this dude is never gonna leave my daughter, yo. My daughter, I need to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, nah,
I need to send the
definitely
troops.
tapped.
So I think that's a situation right there.
Having to watch him treat her a certain way gives them mental anguish, and they're suffering, like is pain and suffering, and they deserve to be compensated for enduring pain and suffering for watching him treat her a certain way. I've never seen this before ever, to be honest, bro. I've never seen somebody sue somebody for treating somebody a certain way because they have to watch it. Like to me, this is kind of crazy, right? I've never seen this before. So that's the claims. Because they have to watch him treat her a certain way, they deserve to be compensated. Honestly, I feel like this legal battle was just created to bankrupt this dude, ruin his life, ruin his small business, and eventually have him say, you know what, bruh, yo, having to deal with this just isn't worth it anymore. I'm going to leave your daughter before you destroy my life. She accused the husband of a lot, to be honest, and a lot of this thing the daughter will claim is all cap. So she will claim that the husband engaged in relentless and sadistic pattern of cruelty and abuse, including physical, mental, sexual, and financial abuse, psychological torture, exploitation, and coercive control over DH, which is the daughter's name, devastating the lives of the plaintiff and her family. So claiming that how he treats her have devastated their lives, right? So they claim he used coercive control techniques such as indoctrination, physical surveillance, isolation, subjugation, emotional abuse, gaslighting, and animal abuse to dominate and control like the girl. However, with the animal abuse, they've already like rebutted this in their initial lawsuit, claiming that whatever damages she claimed the husband did to the dog like never happened at all. So again, the allegations goes, like he indoctrinated DH to believe that he is a god, that he is always right, and that she should only speak when spoken to and never interrupt him. This sounds like somebody who is controlling. This don't say, bro, what are we doing here, bro? You suing somebody for what? Right, for having his wife think that he's a god, bro. Like, come on, bro. All right, that he isolated the wife by telling her that her family doesn't care about her or love her, urging her to distance herself from them and make him the center of her world. You know what tells the daughter her family is out of control and she needs to stay away? Her finding out that she's under 24/7 surveillance, that her house has been wiretapped, that when she moves to get away, the family just buys a house across the street to watch her, hire private investigators to stalk her 24/7. Oh, also, when she gets a job so she don't have to rely on, the mama and her funds, the mama, bills out the company financially, and they use the company to further torment her. I feel like that would probably tell her to stay away from the family, not just the husband. All right, so it continues. Degrade the wife by constantly calling her stupid, unworthy, dumb, and comparing her unfavorably to her mother, claiming her family thinks she is stupid. Economically abuse the daughter by forcing her to fund his request, demand or beg money from her family, turn over her salary, sell her possessions, and seek permission for minor purchases like a cup of tea. I think this needs to be said. We could agree on both things. We could agree the husband don't really appear to be a nice guy. From the little snippet we've seen, he appeared to be pretty horrible. But we could also say the daughter, being a fully grown woman, has every right to choose who she wanted to love, right? If if the husband being kind of controlling, if she can deal with that, if she wants to still be married to him, she should have a right to be married to him, and she shouldn't have to deal with the mother tormenting her life, trying to get her institutionalized, right? Allegedly contacting doctors and having doctors who she's never met before co-sign on her being mentally unstable and her being a risk to herself and having her institutionalized through the Baker Act. July 5th, 2021, take a look at the threatening messages they claim that Javon sent to the daughter. So, he sent a message to the daughter demanding surveillance of Desiree during her visit to the family home, stating, "You better handle her. And if she is here, I need her to be watched the whole time." Javon also texted the daughter and says, "And when they are around that house, anybody from that side, you need to have eyes on them." And she claims that Javon threatened physical harm, stating, "Because if I catch them, I'm effing telling you, I'ma effing go to jail. Starting with the men. I'ma effing shake ish up soon." Now, according to Desiree, that when he says starting with the men, he's referring to Julio, which is their 88-year-old grandfather with dementia. To me, that sounds like poking a bear with a stick. Like, come on, bear, you won't do nothing. You won't do nothing. And then as soon as the bear react, you pull out the camera and say, "See, I told you the bear's violent." Bruh, if this man has to deal with having his home wiretapped, having private investigators following him, being well aware that you guys are trying to pin false charges on him, and then when he realizes y'all are coming to visit, he tells his wife, "Hey, bruh, you watch them with a close eye. Don't let them out your sight, because if they do anything, I'm gonna lose my mind." That sounds like you done poked that bear enough times until now the bear is angry at you. And when the bear reacts, you got the camera out like this. "See, I told you, I'll lock him up." She will say she has threatening messages between Javon and the daughter in regards to the business. Apparently, he liked the landscaping business done a certain way. And he would text her, "If it's trash and trees blocking side entrance of the lot and they can't get close enough on the outside, that's your behind. You better pray. I'm telling you, I'm going to devour your hopes and dreams if it doesn't fit. And all I'm saying is you better fix it or I'll fix you." Directly threatening physical harm. Now, again, these messages can't really be confirmed. Again, the daughter has denied them, but I'll be real. I believe these messages do exist, and I believe this dude is a psycho, to be honest. But again, it's the daughter's right to want to be with the psycho, all right? And even if, like you're saying, "Hey, bro, I'm going to try my hardest to get my daughter not to be with the psycho." Cool, you could do that without destroying the daughter's life, right? Without trying to get her institutionalized, without lying about her doing drugs when she hasn't done drugs, when she passed every drug test they administered after she was institutionalized, And she continued, apparently she claims that, like, Javon tried to access the surveillance system for their family home. So apparently Desiree Perez owns the home, or right, that Javon and the daughter was living in. And, it was their home. She owns it, but it's their home. Just like a landlord is not allowed to come and start putting bugs and cameras all up in your home, right? So apparently Desiree Perez has surveillance system set up that Javon wanted to access just to make sure, that he is aware of what they're able to see and what's going on. She claims that, him trying to access that is him wanting more control. And, she also claimed that he would try to drive a wedge between the daughter and her family, telling her they were untrustworthy and needed to be watched. She would claim the husband would verbally abuse the daughter, calling her a bitch and a dummy and threatening to slap her. Now, she would claim the husband demanded humiliating acts from the daughter via text messages. Now, one of the messages that she read shows, "You told me in order for you not to leave me, I need to get on my knees. I'll suck your D tonight and get on my knees," and promising to do everything he said to avoid abandonment. But that's the thing. The daughter is saying, "Yo, I will get on my knees and suck that D. Just don't leave him, baby. I'm sorry." And a lot of what we read in this lawsuit is one-sided. We essentially know what he apparently did, but don't know what she did. Because if she's begging him not to leave her and begging him to give her another chance and she will do whatever he wants and get on her knees and do this, it looks like she feels like she's to blame for a lot of this. But I'll be real. I really have a zero tolerance when it comes to men talking or treating women a certain way. So if any of this is true, even 1%, the husband is a garbage human being. But I still stand by the fact that no matter how bad the husband is, if the daughter is choosing to stay, that's not like y'all right to then go ahead and, use the criminal enterprise and use your cohorts and your network to make her life a living hell, to torment her, to try to apply pressure on her, to leave the husband, right? No, bro. Like, she should be able to be with the husband if she wants to be with the husband. And as an adult, she should be able to leave when she wants to leave. She shouldn't be getting institutionalized. She shouldn't be having her job affected. She shouldn't be like being followed by private investigators 24/7. No, and that's wrong. All right. So
She should
I think
feel
two
the
things should be.
struggle.
Yeah.
She should literally feel the struggle. She should, like, Desiree be like, all right, I'm pulling my money back. You go live your life with your man and see you later. And then when she feels that struggle comes back to Desiree, she'll come back. But if she's over here like, yo, I'll go on my knees and suck your D to never leave, damn, she's pretty stuck there.
She's in love with the dude, man. She just
She's
hating.
in love.
That's all it is. At the
She's
end of
in
the day, that's all
love
it
with
is,
the
man.
dude.
They have too much power. The mother have too much power, and it's not right what she's doing. It's definitely a RICO charge. That's a RICO act. Using your power to put somebody's life in danger like that, that's not acceptable. But
Or to get your way, she wants it her way. So
yeah. No, I agree, man. But anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. Cloud Babies,
All right.
Elevation Nation, thank you so much for tuning in. You know what to do. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell button. And thank you so much for, you know what I mean, watching this craziness with me, because I wasn't too sure exactly what was happening. I had to tune in with RD. He was putting me on. So thank you so much, RD. We'll see you next week, yeah?
all right.
For sure.